Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is the Piracy Show. Now, of course, Citizen Con, what did you think? I liked it. I did. I really did. I went back, when I first watched it, I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. That's some cool stuff. Obviously, they were hoping to have 3.0 out by now, probably do some stuff with that, but it wasn't there. But it seems like, the more I watched the presentation, the more I went over it a second time, I could appreciate the fact that obviously, they probably knew that 3.0 wasn't going to be out in time, and so they really kind of put their all behind giving us what they gave us. And the presentation that we got, though more subdued, and not so much, like zany at times, I think it overall was better. I think that, in all honesty, going back and rewatching especially the ending presentation, this part of the show, I found it to be a vastly superior presentation than anything we've gotten from CIG before. It was very simple. There wasn't switch to this camera, switch to that camera, this, that, Jared, red one. There was none of that going on. It was just a simple one shot from the character's point of view of this kind of big, bold new world that they've built off of the very small framework that was the original Area 18, and then seeing that expanded outward. It was great to see. It was much more digestible. There weren't so many spontaneous scripted moments happening. It wasn't awkward in that way. It was a very well done presentation. And I think originally kind of the slower mood of it kind of threw me off a little bit, but as I kind of went back and I watched it, I realized that this presentation, and not only this, but all the panels that we got, I mean, this was a real steak dinner for once in terms of information. Usually we kind of get some potatoes and gravy and then some zany behavior. But this, I mean, there was a real steak on the plate this time. I mean, they brought out the construction ship, the Pioneer, and then they had a whole panel on the ship. So you got the idea, the spirit behind the idea, what they're going for, what their goals and what their aims are. Not every 1 and 0 in the code, but enough information that you kind of look at it and go, okay, if I spend this money, this is what I'm getting. And that was fantastic. And the whole presentation was just so well done. And I mean, ordinarily, I would look at certain things and kind of say, oh, well, this wasn't the coolest thing ever, or the Raven, but overall I enjoyed it. And this presentation, especially this component of the presentation, overshadowed anything that kind of threw me a little bit or kind of made me kind of cringe. Call of Duty guns, what? The Area 18 presentation gave us, not only a picture of what's coming beyond 3.0, but I think it also better informed the discussion of why 3.0 is so delayed. Because when you look at what you're seeing versus what we have, certainly it gives you an idea of just how much is packed into 3.0. Not only just walking around on a planet or a moon, picking up a piece of cargo and putting it here versus putting it there, activating a panel on your ship and actually having it work, that sort of thing. It's not just that, it's the framework, it's the foundation that this whole fortress is to be built upon. And so I think it really did better inform the discussion of what is going on with 3.0 and why 3.0 was so delayed. So kudos to that. And it was all, I think, done very well in subtext and not so much just directly like, this is why 3.0 is in here because we're doing this, that, the other thing. I mean, it was reading between the lines. You can see it in what they're showing you, what 3.0 makes possible. That is a huge undertaking, and this is a massive shift. This isn't, to say that this is 2.0 to 3.0 or 2.63 to 3.0, compared to other games, this would be more like saying this is, say, going from, say, Burning Crusade all the way to Legion. This is going from, you know, launch day of, shoot, I keep forgetting the name of it, Knights of the Old Republic, to now. Like, the differences of the quantum leap forward that's about to happen, and especially the cityscape. When I saw this, especially going all the way down, he says, you know, it's Coruscant, and I was like, yeah, it is. And I see endless amounts of gameplay possibilities. One of the things that, because my org, we were all watching the presentation together, I was like, man, I'm going to need like a Boba Fett jetpack. I'm going to need a Boba Fett jetpack. That's one thing that I'm going to have to make a video on. I mean, just seeing this cityscape out in front of you at this sort of twilight hour was amazing. It was absolutely amazing to see. And I kind of, when I was watching, I was thinking, man, if I were there, I would just be like, can you get me an HTC Vive or Rift Oculus and just let me sit in the ship for half an hour? Not going to do anything weird, not going to unbutton my pants or nothing, but I just need 30 minutes to just drink this in. This is fucking crazy. And it is, I mean, it's spectacular. It absolutely is. And, you know, when I make videos in the past and I say, you know, they've got things and they're working on things in the background that would at least reinforce what they're telling the community. It's, oh, we got things going. We got a lot of things going on. It's not just what we're showing you. If this stuff were shown more regularly, I think they would save themselves a whole lot of problems if they were more open with this stuff on a regular basis. Because, yeah, this makes for a dazzling presentation, but, you know, hinting at these things and then showing them is a totally different thing. Because when you see this, like if someone says in an episode of ATV, oh, we're building procedural cities. You know, a year ago, I think they were saying that, and we're like, oh, okay. So how's that going? And then we never hear about it again, and now we see it, and we're like, oh my God. I think maybe things would have been a little bit easier over the year had some snippets or some ideas of this been shown, because it's fantastic. It looks amazing. Like, they should be sharing this stuff more regularly. But yeah, it was great. You know, I'm normally one of the people that goes in and kind of tries to dial down the fanboy and up the critic and be honest about it. But this was dazzling. This did dazzle me, as most of these presentations usually do. Like, this was really good, but this one was just far and above anything else they've ever done. Often these presentations tend to generate those certain moments, those memes that we so love, but it didn't really seem like this was that presentation. It seemed that this was, you know, much more a serious look at Star Citizen and what's coming in the future. And I really appreciated that. I mean, there was almost a hint of, in the basic organization and structure of BlizzCon, in the way they had organized it, but this was far more adult and far more mature, and I really appreciated that. It was just excellent, absolutely excellent. Now, in truth, you know, we've seen presentations like this before, and we do have to acknowledge that. And while it certainly is very impressive and beautiful to look at, it is not a finished product. And like we saw in the Pathfinder demo, it's still quite a ways away, because many of the things that we saw in the Pathfinder demo we have yet to actually play with, but hopefully very soon some of that will be coming online. So if you're looking at this demo and thinking, oh well, obviously by the end of 2017 we're going to be floating around Area 18 and Area 17, I got news for you. Not going to happen. In as much as 3.0 kind of lays the groundwork for this kind of stuff, there's still a lot to do. I mean, creating a closed demo where one person can fly a ship around interact with a navigation menu, get in and out of the ship, walk around, fly around, that sort of thing for one person. Creating that, while still amazing, is not creating it so that multiple people, tens or even possibly hundreds of people, can enjoy together. Being able to go to all the various sales booths, being able to change components on a ship, all these things, having all that up and running for multiple people in a stable environment is a far cry from the demo that we see, but it shows that the work is there and the foundation is there. It's just a question of bringing all these pieces together and making them work, which generally is the overriding theme whenever you watch the burn down on ATV. They can make any one or two of these things work, but to make all of this work together in a playable environment for multiple people is a very different thing. So I'm going to close off with, looking at the overall broad vision of Star Citizen. The broad vision is the thing that brought me here in the first place. It's the thing that made me back the game. It's the thing that keeps me so invested in it. There are always little areas that we can nitpick at, and certainly things like controller agnosticism, or is that even an expression, or did I just invent something? Weapon placement, things like that. These are all things that, of course, are up for discussion and should be discussed at length and in depth. But overall, you have to remember that we're talking about one compartment within a much greater whole. And the much greater whole is sound. The premise, the idea, the framework is sound, and it looks fantastic. It looks amazing. I'm still going to be there to nitpick the little things and say, that should be fixed, or maybe this ship should be a little bit more heavily armed, and things of that nature. But overall, as a backer, I still don't feel that my money has been thrown away or wasted, and I like what I see. I like what I see. Could things be moving a little faster? Sure. But in the real world, you can't stop the tide from coming in. You can only learn to swim. Anyways, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.